Welcome to the Evening Gamer. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Guy.
Hello again.
Here we are, back again for episode 13.
Love saying the episode. How have you been?
It's got to be known, you know. I like saying it. 13. Here we
the,
go.
It's in the title.
Yeah, well, still,
That's
you know.
true. Episode 13. Stoked to be here. Happy to have you.
Yeah, it's almost the weekend. I'm in a good mood. We had a winner of the competition that we're going to announce and chat about.
We did have a winner of the... Well, we'll get straight into that. Congrats to Abs. I don't know if anyone saw it, but we pushed out a video on the socials. Just kind of doing... I told you the spin the wheel would work.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, the raffle works very well. So yeah, Abs is our winner of the $100 gift card. Hasn't gotten back to us yet, though.
I think, I'll be honest, and I feel like there's going to be a few people where we obviously put this out there as a $100 giveaway and we wanted people to engage with us on Instagram and sort of rate the pod. And I have a feeling out of Instagram, there was a few people who came out of the woodwork who hasn't listened to the pod but gave us a rating because they want $100.
Well, I mean, that's what it was for, is to get the name out there. And a lot of people that did discover us through the giveaway have gone on to listen. So welcome if this is your first episode.
True.
But
true.
yeah, at the same time, we very much wanted this to be a pretty quick turnaround in terms of how we gave it away. So I'm thinking, I messaged Abs again today, and it's been 48 hours since I told him he won. I haven't heard back. I'm thinking of giving him another 2 days.
Ooh, we're putting a timeline on this guy.
And then I reckon we go for a respin.
Yeah, I mean, you know, should we, do we, look into this guy and girl and try and determine has something befallen our fellow listener?
Oh, I fucking hope not.
Because then we respin and the guy's in a coma and you feel really bad.
You never know what relationship people are going to have with Instagram, do you? Like, there are times where I put it down, but I certainly wouldn't choose that time to be around the time I entered a competition.
Yeah, he's got $100 just sitting there waiting for him. Just waiting for him.
Keep an eye on socials. We might have to do a respin. Who knows? But we're going to give him a fair amount of time. Like, we're going to give him not a fair amount of time, depending on how you interpret that. We're going to give him a fair amount of time, if I can say it differently, if you know what I mean.
So, let's say in 48 hours' time, he doesn't get back to you. So we spin it again and we give it to somebody else. And then lo and behold, Abs comes out of the woodwork and says, where's my $100?
Well, we need to jump these hurdles when we come to it. But Abs, if you're listening, mate, fucking check your inbox, would you?
Do us a favour, mate. Come on.
Anyway, how's life, mate? What's new?
Mate, I'm loving life. I'm having a great old time. You know, things are going really well. Work's well, social life's good, weekends coming up, sports going on. I'm in a great place.
You know what happened to me today? So, like, earlier this week, I did a huge iconic order and just, you know, like kind of like the winter fashion order that you do every year. Did that. Got a new jumper, right? Wore it to work today for the first time. Went to Yumcha. Mate, first mouthful of a fucking dumpling, dropped it straight in the soy sauce, ruined the jumper.
Splattered yourself.
Gone.
Oof, brutal.
I am so notorious for that.
That is a
White
killer.
shirt, anything new. I don't know, fucking idiot. Why do I keep wearing them to meals?
Mate, it ruins my day. Like, it is a day ruiner. Like, I've got a spare shirt in my locker at work just on the off chance something like that happens.
It's just the worst. Oh, you know what else I watched? Have you seen that movie Poking Around Poor Things? With
no.
Emma Stone?
I haven't, no. I mean, I think I've got a bit of a consciousness about it, but I haven't seen it.
If you're looking for a movie that you sit there with one eyebrow raised for most of it, that's your movie.
Yeah, right.
It was weirdly good and weirdly weird.
Yeah, okay, nice. I went and saw Fall Guy with, you know, old mate Emily Blunt and, you know...
The old Goz. I love the Goz.
He's got the riz. He's good, man. It was a good movie. I really enjoyed it. I had low expectations and it exceeded my low expectations, so I was happy.
It's always good when a movie exceeds your low expectations. You go in and you go, this is going to... I'm prepared for this to be shit.
I mean, it was like, you know, going in to see Dune 2 and I had high expectations and that still exceeded it. Anytime you see a movie and it exceeds your expectations, it's good.
You know a movie's good when you're still talking about it 6 weeks after seeing it.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Dune. If you haven't seen those movies, come on. By now, go watch it.
Yeah, do it. And Timothy Chalamet,
Shamalama Ding Dong.
Yeah, that guy. Fuck, he's... been doing all right.
Mate, that sequence where
he's got one scene in there,
caves and shit. Woo! That mate, was like, you know.
I feel, you know, in sometimes, because one of my favorite actors is Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Huge fan.
Yeah.
And you know when you can see that caliber of actor being developed? I see that in him. Like in 10 years' time, he's going to be that blockbuster.
He's got a good head on his shoulders as well. I don't see him falling off the wagon or anything.
Nah, and he's gone straight into movies. Not a lot of them go straight into movies like that.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know?
I haven't really kind of followed his early days, but I think, he had a couple of roles on the way up.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. Everyone does.
He was in what, Inception? No, not Inception. What was the other one?
No idea.
He played the kid, I think, in
A kid playing a kid?
Interstellar. Interstellar.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, there you go. I didn't know his face back then, so I have no
Yeah.
fucking idea. Hey, while you're listening, give us a rating. Really trying to pump up the numbers for the rating. Give us a rating, a star rating out of 1 to 5. Follow us.
Or share us with, your fellow gamers.
Yeah,
and
100%.
if you're enjoying us, they might enjoy us too.
Yeah, definitely. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, I do have one. I've realized.
Oh, you do have one.
I did.
I
I
see,
thought I
yeah,
didn't,
okay.
but I did. So listening back to last episode, I was pretty tired, I'll be honest, when we recorded that one. And there was sections in that where I kept saying "for me." I think there was one part I was talking and I must have said it about 4 times in one sentence. And it's like, I'm the one fucking talking. It's obviously my opinion. Anyway, it was just a minor gripe I had with my own self on it.
Are you talking about... I don't know if that's a correct me if I'm wrong, but I hear you. Is that...
I mean, like any verbal clutch that you revert back to constantly.
kind of like filler words?
Yeah, like you always see sports people saying obviously. Yeah.
Or essentially is a big one.
Oh, there's plenty of them out there.
When I catch myself saying essentially, I just want to slap myself on the cock.
Yeah, I mean,
Stop doing that.
You've got enough consciousness not to say but yet not enough not to pick up on what your clutch word is, And
But
I think, yeah.
Australian, fucking cadence and the way we say things and our slang, we go, and it's such a easy, it's part of our language to do that.
Yeah, I'll give you. Yeah, that's true.
You know, so that's really hard, but I hear you. My correction is, I think I still said that Returnal's our leaderboard leader, which it's not anymore after the correction. Remember, we have Lies of P at 9.3 and Outer Wilds at 9.04.
Oh, okay.
Which is still very catchable ratings. But yeah, just thought that was worth a shout out.
Does that mean Lives of P needs a re-review as well?
No, God no. That was
go fuck
solid.
yourself.
That was a solid review. That was a solid game. No doubt about it.
Fair.
I've got a question for you, actually, before we jump into Sea of Stars, because I believe that's what you're talking about today.
It is.
Do you, and this is a question for anyone listening as well, do you consider yourself a neighbourino? Do you know what I mean by that?
Hi-de-ho.
Do you consider, when you see your neighbours, you're like, how you doing, mate? And you have a chat? Or are you just like, fucking, no, I don't want to know you?
Okay, so I usually I would be, but a mate of mine, we moved into our apartment and we bought a mat, like a little doormat, and we had grand plans of having a no shoes policy in the apartment. Lasted all of about the time it took us to move in. Anyway, one day I come home, the fucking mat's been stolen.
No way.
I'm in a
way.
fucking apartment block. Who the fuck steals a mat? And I'm looking up and down going, was it outside someone else's fucking apartment?
That's the opposite of a neighbourino.
They brought it inside their house, and so now every time I'm walking past, there's a door open. I'm going, is that my fucking mat in there?
Someone's just living in your building for the loot. Just
Yeah,
taking
well,
all the
literally,
loot
I
they
know.
can.
Anyway, so
You're going to
now,
see it up
every
on
time-
Facebook
every
Marketplace.
fuck.
Doormat, $5.
Every time I see anybody on my corridor, I'm thinking they're the thief now.
How bad is the cost of living? People are looting doormats now.
Come on, man.
Mate,
we
you gotta have a side hustle.
just moved in. What a way to start the new apartment, honestly.
The doormat slasher.
Yeah,
They're
we
out
weren't pleased. We weren't pleased.
I wouldn't be pleased either.
Now I'm just stealing all their Uber Eats every day. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, no, the reason I ask is because I'm stuck. I've recently moved into a new place as well, and I'm stuck in that awkward place of getting to know my neighbours and not. Quite an intimate building. There's only 4 of us here.
Yeah.
But I don't like being a neighbourino.
How thick are the walls?
Oh, I don't know. You'd have to. I'm probably the loudest in the buildings.
Well, I mean, do you hear your neighbours on the phone?
They're probably upstairs right now, being like, "Oh, they're fucking doing that.
They're recording
fucking
again.
podcast again." Yeah, no, I'm just stuck in that awkward place of I don't think I can be friends with you if all we have in common is where we live. Anyway, that's just me.
No, I hear you. But what we should do is give a shout out to the neighbours above and give us a like and a follow.
Yeah, you dickheads. Sea of Stars.
Yes.
Is there anything else to cover? I think that's it.
No, yeah, we can dive right in. So, Sea of Stars, this is a RPG. It came out 2023. Sabotage Studios was the developer. It was released on computer, Switch, the PSs, the Xbox. It's sold about 5 million copies by now. It got really favorable reviews. I kind of came across it, I think, on a Reddit page or reading something, and people were talking about it, going it's actually pretty good. But it's interesting that you look at it and watch the trailer and you go, what? This game? Really?
Well, that's what I was going to say, that because I've never played it.
Yeah.
And when I looked at what it looked like and I looked at the trailer, I was really surprised to hear it came out only a couple of years ago.
Yeah, so it's got that kind of older school art style, which is Pokemon of yesteryear, where it's sort of a real top-down, little miniature dudes running around the map, and the camera moves as you move around, and you got a little crew behind you. You don't have Pokemon, but you do have like a crew.
Did you know that going in that it looked like that and it played like that?
Yeah,
so
I did.
What drew you to it then? Were you just sold on kind of the trailer of it and the premise of it? Like, what draws you to a game like that these days? Because for me, I play the Pokemons, but I play them because I know the Pokemons.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, what drew me was it was told or touted as a little bit of a Pokemon kind of game. And highly rated, and people were saying it's really good. So I was like, look, I'm always willing to try something that has, a bit of clout behind it, and sort of harkens back to those, because I've got really fond memories of playing Pokemon Red and Blue and those early days. It was really, they were great times. And I thought this would recreate the magic, and lo and behold, it did.
Oh, it did. Can you play it co-op?
I don't know, actually. I don't think so.
I feel like we need to link up more on co-op games.
We probably do.
We've been out of sync with co-op games.
Yeah, I burnt you on Remnant the other night, and I felt really bad about that.
You've burnt me a few times on Remnant. We actually said we were going to cover Remnant DLC in this episode. We're not doing that.
And that is my fault completely, everybody. We set aside a time, we sat down, and I realized I hadn't fucking downloaded
this
it.
This motherfucker didn't have his auto-download update on.
Yeah.
So I sat there playing Skur Ritual. Which is like a zombies game at the moment. I won't talk too much about. That was all right. I filled the void. We were just sitting on party chat, and I was eventually after 2 hours like, this isn't happening tonight.
No, yeah, I just sat there just watching it tick up, and I was like, I could be doing anything else at this point. But I have been playing. I did play whilst we were doing that. I've started playing your, what's it called? The fucking
Senua's Sacrifice.
Senua's Sacrifice. Thank you. Yes, which you highly rated. And I've finally taken the plunge. And kicked it off. And I reckon I'm almost done. To be honest, based on.
It's a very intimate game.
Yes, it is. Based on the collectibles, I'm sort of 3/4 of the way through it, I think.
Nice. But we're not talking about that next week.
We've gone well off topic.
We're talking about Senua's Sacrifice next week, because the week after is when Hellblade 2 drops, which is the sequel to that.
Yes, the sequel, yes. But so the timing's good.
When I hear Sea of Stars, I think space game, lots of travel, open world. Was that the experience here?
No, not at all. So it is open world. So,
I love it. You're just like, no, shut up, not at all.
Well, I mean, so where the Sea of Stars comes in is that the two main characters, and I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of one of them, Valeri and Zale.
Valerie?
I don't know. It's spelt weird, but
okay.
I could be wrong. They have the power of the mun. Correct me if I'm wrong. Next week, the moon and the sun.
Okay, there you go. So there's the correlation with the stars, I suppose.
Not quite. I think there is actually like a level in it called Sea of Stars, and like you go somewhere. So I kind of did you dirty. I just remembered that.
And what's the premise here? What are you trying to do together?
So it's some it's not Earth. It's somewhere else, and you're two kids, and every few years, dude rocks up and delivers some kids to a temple, and it's your job to protect the world. Is sort of the vague premise, and you're fighting against somebody called the Alchemist. And you basically go on an adventure, and you kind of courses through the lives of these two kids over this adventure, and their friends and people they meet along the way. And in terms of jumping straight into our categories, and I've really kind of nailed down, I'm going to go through these categories quite sort of methodically.
Go for it.
Is the storyline really strong. This was where it really probably knocked it out of the park. It was expansive. I was quite surprised as the game unfolded, how much it kind of exploded outwards, and you were like, wow, okay, so now, before I thought the map was this island, now it's a whole, much larger map, and then you go through a portal and there's another map, and it just sort of continuously grows bigger and bigger, and you sort of like, this is developing at quite a speed,
I love that as well. Like that reminds me of like Red Dead, where you slowly start to roll out the map and you're not sure how big it's going to be.
Yeah.
And then when it is as big as you hoped it was, it's like such a good moment. You're like, oh, there's still so much of this game left. I fucking love that.
Yeah. And like, I don't want to ruin it, because that was one of the things that really kind of ticked boxes for me. I've just gone like, oh, whoa, like, I'm in a whole new place and a whole new kind of thing, and the vibe's totally changed, and I really enjoyed that. And so the storyline it's really strong. Like, you get kind of pretty hooked into it, and the when I get to sort of talking character dev and build, For me, when we talk about character dev and build, a lot of it is the characters developing over the course of the game. And there is no doubt that occurred for these two kids that they started with, very young kids. And their powers sort of enhance over the course of the game, and the relationships they've got with their little party does get sort of nice. And there's some really heartwarming moments and some twists in the tale that I didn't see. And it's just a really wholesome, nice story.
Love that. Sounds really refreshing. Like, I feel like they've put the thought in the right place there.
Yeah, it's a well thought out game. So moving to the feel and mechanics, this is a turn-based game. Now, for all you listeners remembering my Baldur's Gate, I kind of knocked it down a little bit for its turn-based combat, but that's because in an open world game, turn-based it's almost like too many options, and the rewind effect, you can bomb out a whole fight sequence. In this, it doesn't have that. It's got the Pokemon kind of turn-based effect of it.
Right, so it is literally cue, attack,
yes,
do your harm and then wait for the response.
Yeah, but it's a little bit more layered than that, because there'll be times when your enemy is going to do a move and above its head will get a picture of sort of 8 or 10 or a few diagrams that align to your special skills. So if you use those skills, you knock out these icons, and eventually if you get the whole set done, their move gets skipped, and it blocks their next action. So it kind of makes it quite clever in that you've got to use the right movesets at the right time, on the right enemies,
Yeah, bit of nostalgia to like old card games as well, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Like sometimes you could play a card before they made their move that would essentially like disable their move.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't quite like that, but, it was layered, and then you had special powers, and you had to kind of work them up over the course of the game. And then, when you unleashed them, you'd get a fantastic cinematic that never got bored watching, even if it was the same one each time. It was sort of always like a really sick moveset, as sort of the power of the sun like booms onto the ground and just blows up everybody. You're like, that's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, nice. Kind of like the old Pokemon when you cued Hyper Beam. Like it just never got old watching that.
Yeah, like the animations are really cool. And so I've knocked it down a point just because it's menu heavy, and it's okay. Dialogue text heavy. You're not listening to actors talk here. You're reading the text on the screen. And that can knock people a bit boring at times.
Yeah, and when something is when something is as rigidly turn-based as that, it takes out the kind of like adaptability reaction part of it.
Yeah. So it's on that point, which, I'm pleased you brought it up, is that so when certain ones of your moveset, when you fire them off, if you continue to hit the button at the right moment, the move continues and you do more damage.
There you go.
So there is a timing-based sort of element to even within the turn-based attacks that you're doing, which was really cool. Like, the moon chick, Valir, shoots off a boomerang, and every time the boomerang comes back to her, you hit the button again and it will fly out again. And you can see how many times you can get this effect going.
Yeah, right. So that's quite refreshing. That's a bit of a nuance.
Yeah, I like that. So that was the feel and mechanics, the challenge and entertainment. Now, this is an easy game. This wasn't hard. There was probably a couple of bosses where I fucked up. I wasn't paying attention. Had to redo it. But by and large, by the time I got to the end, because I'm a meticulous gamer, I found every item. I'd leveled up everybody pretty high. So the ending boss fight wasn't too difficult. But you can make it harder within the game. There's you can find items that can increase difficulty in various ways, which was kind of cool as well. But I don't know if you'd want to. It's not the kind of game where you're like, I want to make this harder for myself. It's sort of...
Yeah, I mean, there are some games that you play. It's kind of like me with No Man's Sky at the moment. I'm playing a hell of a lot of that game. And I'm enjoying it without a super difficult challenge.
Yeah.
And if I was given the option to ramp up the difficulty, I wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just it's not one of those games that you put in that category going like, I
make
it harder
for me. I can enjoy this for other reasons outside of sweating my balls off.
Yeah, like I chose this game in a sort of unwindy kind of game, not a I want to make this a grind. I want to make this harder.
Yeah. It's really like a get home from work, put the Ugg boots on, kick up the feet, and just lose a couple of hours to
just sort of enjoy the story as it unfolds. And that was sort of the other element that kind of fell down for me, that because it's not that challenging a game, the entertainment comes from the story. There was points where I got quite late game where I was like, oh god, I got to verse this boss again, and I've got to go through a whole sequence again, and I'd kind of be like, I want it to be done. I want to know how the story ends now.
That's the flip side of it and I found that with Alan Wake, is like you get to a point you're like, okay, it's getting a bit the same. I'm actually kind of gunning to see the end result here now. Like, stop. Yeah, and you kind of have a moment you're like, please don't be another mission.
Yeah.
You kind of like, give me the end level now. Like, let me figure this out. Let me tie the loop back.
Which is such a challenging thing for game developers because, you know, as the game you've set the mechanics, you've set the skills, the characters have developed, and now you're just doing the third act as you're rolling towards the last boss, the big sort of finale. And, you know, if you drag that out for too long, people are like, get on with it. Like, come on.
That's why I like games that are what they are and don't try and be anything else. Like, and also to developers, like, don't think you have to do a certain amount of things to make a game worthy of a player's time. Like, if a game only takes 20 gaming hours to finish, then that's fine. That's the product. You know, that is the game. Don't go and, you know, drag it on so that... Yeah, you it's kind of like a vicious cycle. You'll end up hurting yourself and your product if you do that.
Yeah, exactly. So moving to character dev and build.
Remember with this one, think world build as well.
Yeah, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, you know, this was one of the stronger elements of it. You know, as I said, the characters developed, the relationships developed. There's the sort of the two main characters, they've got a third guy who's an offsider who actually kind of really ties it together really nicely. You know, who doesn't have powers as such. He's sort of their resident chef. And, you know, sort of just, you can clearly see the bond of friendship build over the course of this, and it's really nice.
Love that. I love it when in-game characters develop connections. It makes you so much more involved in the story. You know, it's kind of like, you know, the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones was that shocking because we developed such a, like,
connection
we were so
with Robb
invested
Stark,
in those characters. Yeah. It makes a huge difference in games, and it's not something a lot of games nail. Like, I could probably name, like, on two hands games that have done that really, really well.
Like, it's, you know, a lot of games will just go, here's your best friend, you know, and he's going to be with you the whole time, and you're like, okay,
that motherfucker's going to die, and you're not even going to care.
How did we become friends? Like, you know, that part of the story is, it takes more time to imbue that sort of development of character, the dialogue, the moments, the challenges that they grow together. Because that's layering the game that then absorbs the player a hell of a lot more than just here's your canon of people and characters in the thing. There they are, and they never change. And they just also, are who they are.
Like, betrayal is such a big thing in gaming right now, and like, if you develop that, or if you have the in-game characters develop that bond, it makes the betrayal so much more shocking. You don't see it coming, because so often you're playing a game, you're like, I know where this is going.
Yeah.
I sense betrayal, right?
Yeah.
But then there are those games you're like, I did not see that coming.
Yeah. And honestly, this game had so many moments of going, I didn't see it coming. You know, and like, I've watched plenty of movies, plenty of TV shows, played plenty of games. You often pick up the breadcrumbs they're leaving, knowing that this is going to be a twist of fate. And in this one, there was plenty of times where I was like, didn't see it coming.
Love
you know,
that.
Like, you know, and it's not that maybe they're not leaving the breadcrumbs as obviously, you know, or maybe they're leaving no breadcrumbs, but that also is fine. Like, you don't have to give us fucking breadcrumbs to make us think something's going to go that way.
No, I don't think you do, but I also think that how else do you build suspense without doing that? And I think that as gamers, we're so well trained to read into everything. Like, imagine if you were to play Elden Ring and you didn't really pay attention to conversations you were having, or you didn't really pay attention to what people were saying. Or you didn't
understand them.
You would never do a side quest.
Yeah.
So we have to be well trained to kind of read into this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, obviously not talking about Elden Ring, and eventually, didn't you do a thing on Instagram about it?
I put so on Spotify, I asked a little, kind of like I posted a poll on one of the episodes about what's a game you'd want to hear of, and Elden Ring came out as the clear leader.
Interesting.
So we are going to do an Elden Ring episode.
I mean, I feel like we should tie
month.
it into the DLC, or do you want to do it before the DLC?
I think we'll do it before the DLC.
Okay.
Like, I think Elden Ring is something that we've mentioned so much.
We really have, yeah.
And it's such a benchmark, and rightly so. That game was phenomenal.
Yeah.
From all accounts. So I think it's something that we have to speak about, and people want to, you know, there's a huge community of gamers on Reddit at the moment talking about Elden Ring. It's trending when it comes to its DLC. I loved the trailer they put out, so it's something that we got to tackle. Yeah, for sure.
I was about to sort of dip my toe a little bit into the Elden Ring world, but I won't. So coming back to the storyline, there is betrayal, there's twists, there's turns, there's a lot to unpack in this as the sort of these characters go through this world. Moving to the next category of loot and extras. So there is collectibles in this, and then you pick up weapons and gear, and the weapons and gear are delivered at a good pace, you know, and you sort of like, okay, like I've just discovered a new item that kind of enhances my stats in certain ways. That's nice. And I really enjoyed how cleverly they hid the sort of treasure chests. that you'd kind of go, oh, I think there's a little section off the map here. Lo and behold, there is, and you get the nice satisfaction of da-da-da-da, like a new little fucking
So good.
whatever. Like, it's just scratches that nice little itch. But there were these things in the fucking game called rainbow conches, and they were the crowning jewel of the collectibles to find in this. And me, being me, had to find every
Loot
one of
sessions
these
with Guy.
fucking goddamn rainbow conches. So I'm going through the game, and I get close to the finish, and it's like at the end, it asks you that question of, if you proceed, you will not be able to go back beyond this point. Da da da.
I
And
hate
was like,
that question
I
because
mean-
it makes me second guess every decision I've made. In
Well,
the game.
I don't hate it because it's like there's the chance to go, look, you know, if you don't turn back now, then you're gonna have to replay the whole fucking game if you want to do a little fucking side
I
quest.
get it, but at
It's
the same
like,
time,
you know, I appreciate the
Yeah.
forewarning. So
Yeah,
I
okay.
decided I wasn't going to fucking see it through, and I was going to go find these rainbow conches. So I then bring up a goddamn review map thing to tell me where they all are. But of course, I've already gone through the whole game. I don't know which ones that I have collected or haven't collected. So then I'm trying to guess which sections of the map did I not explore fully and I rushed through. And I spent a few hours just going back, thinking and hoping I was going to come across a couple of these things. I had maybe like 7 left to go. After I'd done this for a few hours, I discovered in the game there is a way in which it tells you where the ones are missing are, which annoyed the shit out of me. I hadn't noticed it up until that fucking point, and that was time wasted. So, you know, ear is me. You know, I take the hit on that one. But
I think every game. So Breath of the Wild brought this in. On Breath of the Wild, in the interactive map that you have something called I think it's called like the player's path, and it actually paints just a full line which has shown you everywhere you've gone since starting the game.
that was cool. I really liked that of seeing that
And
line. I thought that was genius.
Yeah, every time I wanted to do something like this that you've just explained, to have to go back
Yeah.
and figure out what I've done, what I haven't done, I would just put that on and I'd be like, no, can't be that one because I've been there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start with the places I haven't been. And if
Yeah.
I'm still missing a few, then I need to be a little bit more particular about this. But every game should have that. And I look
Yeah.
for it in so many games. And I think that's something all games should adopt.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting with these when you do these big collectibles and you get to the end, you've collected all the fucking little pieces of the puzzle. You then the payoff sometimes is never worth the juice ain't worth the squeeze on these things sometimes. And I know I need to be listening to this pod, hearing this, saying, guys, girls, don't do it to yourself. Like, it ain't fucking worth it. And these rainbow conches weren't worth it. You get a tiny little additional animation. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't add to the story. It's a little like, hoo-hoo at the very end of it.
I'll push back on that. Don't do it for every game.
Yeah,
do it for that game that you're like, I don't want this to end.
Like-
and you're actually going to enjoy doing a little second run
I'm
through.
gonna start Googling what do you actually get if you do this.
But then you lose the
the
surprise.
mystique, but then it's like if I'd have done that before I started playing Legend of Zelda, and I never would have gone hard on the fucking Korok seeds.
Those bloody
I'm-
Koroks.
Man, I dead set I'm gonna get a
They
tattoo of
haunt
those
your
goddamn
dreams,
things.
those
They do because they ruined what is a fantastic game. I sold my Switch after that. I was
They
so
did not ruin it.
It ruined it for me.
No, it didn't. You just went about it the wrong way.
Just a
you
putz.
dunce.
I know. Anyway, so the rainbow conches. What nice thing though, they'd actually inbuilt into this game like a little kind of graveyard of tombstones of all the people who contributed when they were like in early starters. So you had a whole
I like that.
like level area where it was a sea of tombstones. And you go up to them and it would have the name of all these individuals who had either financially or game tested or been a part of
That's
getting this
cool.
game set up, which I thought was a nice little touch.
I love that. I saw a meme the other day, or a reel, where I might be wrong about this, but I think it might have been a Battlefield or a Counter-Strike or maybe a Tom Clancy game where he wrote in and said that his best mate had passed on and they used to play that game all the time. And then they made a little shrine for him in game. I thought that was such a cool touch.
Do you hear the one? And this one I love is like it was Colin McRae rally driving. And this kid,
The ghost?
Don't ruin the story. It's
The
great.
shadow.
He like so in the game there was like you could see the best time of a time travel. You could see the best time somebody had set on the game prior. He used to play it with his dad. His dad passed away. He loads it up, and then the shadow is still there. So he's still like racing with his dad. It was such a nice little gaming story.
And he just never beats
And
the
he never
time
beats it.
trial.
Yeah,
so
why
it
would
stays
you?
there.
Why would
it's
you?
crazy
Yeah.
how you can live on through games like that. Like that is so
it's
weird.
a nice
It was
touch.
also the other one that that actor that passed away. He was in all the John Wicks. He used to play.
Oh yes,
He played Destiny, and he
was in Forbidden West.
Yeah,
Horizon Forbidden
but
West.
because Destiny's so online, your character stays there until it kind of you get kicked for inactivity.
Yeah.
And he was there for like a week, and people were just saluting him in the game
he
and
was
stuff.
He was in that TV show The Wire as well. Like
he was in a lot.
That guy, man, he was probably just cresting in his career.
I used to love seeing him in stuff. I've forgotten his name; it escapes me at the moment. But I used to love when he was in. I was like, love seeing him.
He's got this presence, gravitas.
Gaming can be a toxic place, but when you hear stories like that, you're like, that's cool. Like everyone does have. There is almost like an agreement, for lack of a better term, like a gentleman's agreement in gaming sometimes, which is like you kind of, just come together.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's one of those such interesting things where it's like when you're playing the sweat lobbies, yes, there's a lot of abuse, a lot of sort of, especially towards women, it tends to be.
Which is awful.
And kids and stuff like that. But then,
what?
Yeah, well.
What lobbies are you in?
No, but I mean, like, you're playing Call of Duty and you're a kid and he's got his voice hasn't dropped and everyone's like, listen to this guy. But when you're in real life and you meet someone and you're like, I'm a gamer, it gives you just a topic straight away where you're like, what's your favorite game you play in a minute, all the rest of it. It's like coming across somebody who's into the same sport you are. Like, it's just one of those nice little human moments of going, you're into the same thing.
Agreed. Loot and extras.
Well, so the loot and extras. So I'm now at the point of being able to give the numbers. So I'm going to give you the numbers. You're going to punch it in.
I'm going to punch it in, mate.
Let's see where this spits it out. Storyline.
Slapping and spitting. Yep.
Storyline was strong, so I gave it an 8.5.
8.5. Okay. Yeah.
Feel and mechanics was solid with a minor little thing, so I gave it an 8. The challenge and entertainment, this is where it fell down for me because it wasn't that challenging, and the story was where it was entertaining. So it's good, but it's not amazing. We're not talking sort of fantastic Elden Ring style gameplay. You're clicking menus, so sort of a 7.
7.
The character dev and build was strong, as I said. The relationship, so that got an 8.
Okay.
And then the loot and extras, I gave that a bit of a less than that, just because the Rainbow Conches fucked me off. So it's 7.5.
7.8.
7.8. I think that's fair. I mean,
and from all accounts, like, this is a game that did what it wanted to do well.
Yeah, so I think the reason why I probably didn't give it as high as maybe some of these other game reviewers and all the rest of it is, this is us and our opinions of, I just don't think this game is my kind of game at the end of the day. Like, I finished it 100% of it. It took me about 30 hours. It's not a huge game. But, if you were to like objectively look at this, it's a good game, it's a fun game. But I think there's people out there, especially Switch players. I feel like this is the perfect game for a Switch.
Yeah,
like, it really would fit that console nicely. But like, I'm so I want the cinematic. I want the sprawling kind of amazing vistas and deep story, and the Skyrims, the Fallouts, the Elden Rings, these kind of things.
I also think that this shows that to be a good game, you don't have to do everything under the sun. Like, which is what I think Dragon's Dogma tried to do. They tried to do too much and didn't do much of it well. Whereas, like, from what you've said about Sea of Stars here, is that it was rather simplistic. It focused in on what it wanted to be. It has good story. It has good lore. It made sure the feel and mechanics kind of flowed well. The challenge and entertainment maybe left a little bit to be desired, but that's what the game was. You knew what it was. Yeah. And there's something really refreshing about, it's kind of that saying of like, less is more.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't bite off more than it could chew.
Yeah.
It wrapped it in a bow nicely. I sort of agree with you a little bit on Dragon's Dogma. We've obviously reviewed that one.
What I'm trying to say there is, like, if you're sitting there being like, how can a game like this get higher than Dragon's Dogma? Well, that's how. They knew what they were. They knew what the game was going to be, and they did it well. That's all gamers are ever asking for.
Yeah. No, I agree on that. Yeah.
So there, 7.8, Sea of Stars. Who, knowing how I game, very combat-based, very meticulous with how I learn how to play things and spend a lot of time in the mechanics of a game. Would you recommend this to me, or who would you recommend it to?
As I said, I'd recommend it to the Switch players.
Oh, right.
Like,
okay.
If you're enjoying, Breath of the Wild, this is sort of be a nice flow on of that kind of. It's the kind of JRPG, Japanese kind of art style thing. If you enjoyed Pokemon back in the day, you'd get a kick out of this. This is a new take on it, a new flavor on it. It's not the collectible sort of addiction that Pokemon Pokemon has.
Yeah, gotcha.
You know, catch 'em all kind of vibe about it. But its story is where it really stands up, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by it.
Love that. Well, there you go. 7.8, Sea of Stars.
Done.
Questions from a hat.
Questions from a hat. So mine is, which gaming moment took a turn you didn't see coming? We're talking twists.
This is so easy for me because there's only one moment that I think of when I hear a question like this, like something that really took me by surprise that I wasn't expecting. It was a gaming franchise that had me completely hooked by the time they did this, but it has to be Cortana going rogue in Halo.
Oh, yeah. They did lay the breadcrumbs on that one. You know, she was sort of losing her mind a little bit.
But, Cortana was like Zelda's fairy to the Master Chief.
Yeah,
I think I just hit my mic. You never see betrayal coming from a character like that, but she's been such a part of your internal gaming voice.
Yeah.
Guiding you, helping you get through these missions. And even if you do think that it's coming, it still surprises you because it's such a big betrayal, and it also, I think, has layers, like a moment like that, like AI becoming intelligent enough to see that the war that they're fighting doesn't serve anything in a positive way. So goes rogue, and like everyone loves a sci-fi twist like that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, that is a good one. That is a good one.
What's yours, my man?
I'm thinking like Modern Warfare, the early one where the colonel who's been sending you the missions pops your mate as he gets on the plane. It's famous fucking
Fuck,
scene.
that was a good moment.
You just like your jaw drops kind of thing. Those early Call of Duties, the nukes dropping kind of things, like that was phenomenal gaming. When the stories of those ones, early doors, was so good. The ghillie fucking one, my God.
Mate, Call of Duty had multiplayer at its feet. The world of multiplayer at its feet back in 2010.
It really did, yeah.
And you're right, they never went beyond that, but back then they were leading the way, absolutely. And I remember the exact scene. You're about to get in the chopper.
Yeah.
You've done the final mission. He turns around, he pops your mate, kills him, and then shoots you, and you have to kind of limp back.
Right. Yeah.
Screen flowing red. You're completely in it.
I think you die. Do you die?
No, you don't.
No, you do.
I can't remember exactly those details, but yeah, that is a great moment.
Yeah. I mean, good twist in gaming. Like, I feel like we're coming into now a phase of cinema where Fallout's obviously just come out.
Yes.
It's got rave reviews. Now Fallout, people are going back and playing that game. The Witcher TV show. I think, we were in what was the superhero period for a time there, where we got all bored of it. Now they're looking at gaming going, this is an untapped mine with viewers who go, I've played those games, I love those games, I'm of course going to give you my money to watch this fucking show.
Yeah, and this is why we rate storyline as one of our pillars of games. People can make TV shows out of them.
Yeah, I mean,
The Last of Us.
It's actually
Fallout.
I'm amazed. Like, they obviously try to do this for years. The Super Mario Brothers is the most classic example where they churn out the content. They don't do it justice. They try and put their own spin on it. They then rupture it, and then the viewers who are actually the people, the fans, go, fuck you, you just ruined my childhood memory favorite thing. And then everyone else watches it going, what the fuck is this about? Now they're actually doing it justice, and it's like, hell fucking yeah. Like, and all you need to do is you play the game, and then you use the script almost scene by scene, you recreate it, and you're fucking printing money.
The only thing is that gamers will come down hard on you if you do it in injustice and a disservice. Like,
I mean, I'm
the
looking
Halo
forward
TV
to,
show did not.
But apparently, the season 2 is having a revival and is actually apparently it's actually redeeming itself a little bit.
Like,
I mean,
I didn't.
But you're so on the money for that because
we will rate it hard.
It's Halo.
You can't touch
Microsoft's marquee leading sort of franchise as they released the Xboxes of old days. And in the first season, for the fucking Master Chief to be walking around without his helmet on, what are you doing?
I know.
Who fucking in Microsoft allowed that to go to air? Like, what are you doing?
The whole thing of him
the
was that
mystique
you never saw it.
It goes. That was like the genius of it. Look at what they did to, what's his name in Star Wars?
The Mandalorians.
The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
He's got his helmet on the whole time. Like, we all know it's Pedro Pascal,
I didn't.
the actor.
I had a
Well,
I didn't look at this cast and I had a feeling.
But like the best thing about it is it isn't actually Pedro Pascal under the mask the whole time.
There you
it's
go.
It's a stunt double the majority of the time.
Yeah.
You know, and he just does sequences of it and then he puts his voice to it. That's a genius move.
What would you do if he pulled his helmet off and it was Ewan McGregor and you're like, what?
That would be a twist. That would be a twist.
You can't be in two places at once. There's two different storylines going on here. Yeah. Obi-Wan, get the fuck out of here, man. You're going to get your own TV show. I mean, we could talk about how Star Wars is spun off with Disney for a whole episode.
Yeah,
but we won't do that. Do you want to hear my question?
Yes, sorry, yeah.
No, that's all right. Here's my question, and I want to ask this because I think every gamer would be able to answer this. What's one character that you've almost adopted as like your gaming persona? Like, and it can be a character that you've either just resonated with heaps, that you might have, you really liked their lore or their background, or you felt close with them because of their story, like whatever it was. Or maybe it's just a character that just represents what you're good at in gaming, and maybe they're a character from that particular game. Oh, I can go first if you want.
Oh, I've got one. I got one lined up.
Go for it.
With the question, there's the way on which I'm going to answer it is this isn't the sort of persona that like I've taken on, but this was certainly the game that allowed my persona to flow into the game in a nice way, and it's had moral conundrums throughout the entirety of the series of games. And the beautiful thing about this trilogy of games was that the decisions in the first one would flow into the second and the third. And at the start of each game, as they were released over the years that they released this trilogy, you could carry over your character from the previous one and fiddle with some of the stats, but you then get to pick the decisions that occurred in the first game that were monumentous decisions. And I'm talking about fucking Mass Effect. Those games came out at a time where it hooked me like nothing else, and I was so absorbed in that world. The galactic sort of expanse, the alien races they brought into it, the council of these alien races, the sort of impending doom of this different alien species that is sweeping the galaxy, and humanity is now just a pawn in the grand scheme of it, and we're the upstarts, we're the new kids on the block. And I just loved it. There were so many fantastic moments where it's like, you have to decide, do you cure a disease that saves an entire race of Krogans, which is an alien species in there, or if you cure them, these are a warfaring people, and they tried to take over the galaxy previously, and if you cure them, they'll do it again. They'll probably will. Love that.
And you can't undervalue giving a gamer the power to continuously work on a character like that.
Yeah.
Like there's an argument to say that's everything in gaming.
That is everything.
Imagine if you had to start your RuneScape character all over again every patch.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd be like, what's the point?
That's what Diablo's done wrong. It's like every season you can start a new seasonal character and you just start fresh. You're just like, why?
I also think that's where Assassin's Creed went wrong.
Yeah, some carryover there would go nicely.
Yeah, like Des is in a machine that's sending him back in
Desmond,
time.
yes.
Why
and then
change
the Ezio...
Well, that's the thing. So when I went to answer this question, I wanted to say Wraith from Apex because I've just been playing her now for 5 years or however long that game's been out. And I don't know. I don't know if it's her lore. I just think it's all of the hurdles that those developers have put in front of her as a character as well. Like I've always persisted with her, and she's just like my gal. But there's a part of me also that wants to say Ezio, because being 13 or whatever, or however old I was when that first one came out, and playing Ezio, that was a groundbreaking game. It's like you could climb walls, you could jump off high places. It really kind of took advantage of what we'd been waiting for so long, which is almost like since Splinter Cell, a good stealth game. And Assassin's Creed did that so well. And Ezio is one of the maddest dogs out there, bro.
Yeah.
Like he had
a great story. But there was Altair
Altair was sick, but
yeah.
Ezio was the trailblazer, and and you don't get to play as him again, and you can see the gamers yearning for him and his lore to come back, because in every game since, they've had his outfit that you can wear.
He's the fucking pin-up boy for that series, no
to
doubt.
give you some sort of semblance of him again.
What's the name of the guy who's in Egypt?
Exactly. I don't
know either. I feel like it's almost there, but it's not there.
I almost had it.
So just coming back quickly to my Mass Effect, Shepard, I think was the character's name. The moral question, when I game, I cannot be the bad guy. It's not written in my fabric to make the bad decision. I always have to do the right thing. Like, I don't know what it is. I never do bad guy runs through games.
So back in Fable, you had a halo above your head.
Fucking, I'm that guy. I'm that guy who's like incapable of taking the wrong decision.
I was the guy that had two 10-foot horns coming out of my...
Yeah, we're fucking polar opposites here. You'd be wiping out races in fucking Mass Effect willy-nilly.
I sometimes just like making the difficult decision because I feel like the game doesn't want you to.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like, you know what? I'm gonna find out how deep that rabbit hole goes.
Yeah. I mean, it is like games where you're not penalized for making the bad moral decision. Like, because a lot of games will be like, you know,
and it hurts your status.
Yeah.
Or it's like in Red Dead when you tried to do it, you were just constantly paying off bounties, and it's like, oh, this isn't good for me.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're kind of forcing you to go the direction that, you know, people inherently are gonna do. But
even though he's an outlaw.
Yeah, they're not catering to the other side of the audience who are the inherent. I want to see how far I can push the buttons here. Like, you know,
they were good questions.
They were good questions. Yeah,
they were heaps good questions. Heaps good media.
Well, I feel like we've rolled through this. I'm not sure what the timestamp is at, but I mean,
the screensaver's come up on the Mac, and I don't want to touch it in case I accidentally stop recording. So I don't know. It could be an hour at this point.
Could be an hour.
Senua's Sacrifice next.
Yes,
beautiful game. It can almost give you a little bit of a pre-teaser, I suppose. Pre-teaser? A teaser?
Prelude?
Or a prelude? Yeah, one or the other, Taylor. Come on.
Stop teasing us.
Beautiful game. We're going to have discussion around that because we've both played it.
So
next episode, complete Senua's Sacrifice. Look at the socials, see what we do around the giveaway. Abs, mate, hit me up.
Get in contact. Come on, mate.
Other than that, don't be an NPC.
Keep leveling up.
Thanks, everyone.